Jake? Jake's my boy.
Look at him.
And that's a real shame when folks be throwing away a perfectly good white boy like that.
The Nation of Jake on NewsTalk 98.9, The Roar of Memphis.
All right, welcome to Friday.
Yes, have some.
Here we go, December 2nd, year of our Lord 2022. Rainy, mid-50s, kind of cold out. You know, the rain always makes you feel a little bit more chilly out there. And then there's rain in the 10-day forecast. It just seems like forever. Like when you get on your weather app, it's just a bunch of clouds and lightning for the foreseeable future. So it just might be a gray 10-day for us here. But we got to get through this Friday here in the Nation of Jake. Look, I don't have an entire show planned. I like to, prepare about 50 to 75% of a show, and then I let you guys help me fill in the rest. We just keep it loose. Bud, the producer, I'll be leaning on you to fill in some gaps because I really haven't done anything today. So now, look, I will say this. Here on December 2nd, it is officially official now. The new Shelby County Clerk's Office on Riverdale has missed its December 1st opening. There was still a chance. When I left you yesterday at 5 p.m., there was a chance that Wanda Halbert could have jumped out and opened it up at 8 p.m., even if for like an hour or so, just to say, oh, this office has never failed. That's right, we opened. We opened for an hour on December 1st. Now we have to close again, another blackout like they've done until we're ready to fully open. So see, she could have done that just so she could keep telling you.
This organization has never failed.
Technically, we were open, but she didn't do that. So they have blown right past the deadline. And look, Wanda Halbert is nowhere to be found. She is not making herself accessible to media, to the county commission. How does a government official...
I'm a government official.
How do you get so reclusive? You were put in office by the people. You are accountable to the people, but you are not making yourself available to the people. So the latest on that coming up. What's going on in there? Are they any closer? Has anybody been by there? Has anybody driven by there on Riverdale? I mean, it looks like a really nice building. They got some signage, a really nice Shelby County Clerks. It's got her name on it, too. That's the thing. Wanda Halbert has her name on the building. And those signs, they're not inexpensive. They're actually very expensive to have made. Nice backlit sign up there. I mean, think about it. Your name and lights. Your name is on the building, and you can't even get the thing open by the date that you said it would be open. In fact, that has come and gone. We'll also get some updates from the other Shelby County Clerk locations. I'm told by my inside man. He's not even an inside man. He's an outside man because he had to wait in line outside. He said he was the 30th man in line. He and some gentlemen from south of the border were there clustered up in line. Think about it, though. You're in line for a long time. What if you have to pee? I mean, you go out, you drink coffee, you get up, you drink a couple of cups of coffee, and then you go get your tags from the tag office over at Mullins Station or Poplar Plaza or wherever, not on Riverdale. And then all of a sudden you're standing in line for an hour or so, and you have to pee. Do they let you keep the place in line? Do they have a place for you to go? That's got to be very inconvenient. So we will see the elapsed time of the outside, hopefully by now, the inside man, how long it takes him to get his tags. Have you had any recent experiences with the county clerk's office that have been less than stellar? 683-0989. That's the Rick's Powder Coating text line, 901-683-0989. We got the latest on Kanye West's pro-Nazi Hitler-loving outburst online yesterday. That's pretty much all people were talking about. Kanye West has since been banned from Twitter. He followed up his appearance on the Alex Jones show with some tweets. Some of them were anti-Semitic. Others implicated NBA players in sleeping with his wife. So it was kind of an unhinged Twitter rant that got him banned from the Twitter. More on Kanye coming up. Oh, check this out. Memphis in May Music Fest passes are on sale today. Now we go through this every year. We don't know the lineup, but the passes are on sale. I don't know how much they are. The festival says a limited number of discounted early bird 3-day passes are available. Once they are gone, prices will increase. So, look, I don't know the kind of person who buys a concert ticket to a mystery show, but I guess if you're going anyway, but again, what's Memphis in May going to look like? May 5th through the 7th, 2023. They don't even have it all worked out. There's a lot of speculation. They'll have to scale it down. So will the acts be fewer, or will they be just as many but of lower quality? And let's get this going on the text line, 683-0989. I want to hear from you on this. What performer, just one, what performer would get you out of the house to buy a ticket and go downtown for Music Fest? I'm not the kind of guy who's just going to go to any concert. It takes certain concerts, certain bands to get me even out of the house or excited about paying a bunch of money for a ticket. Who is the band, artist, performer that would make you buy that ticket? 683-0989, 683-0989. Maybe we can get, and I was thinking about this, maybe we can get the karaoke night to play Music Fest. Wouldn't that be something? We're going to do that. We're going to invite Jim Holt on the program next week. I'll even come in studio. I like hanging out with Jim Holt. He's a lot of fun. He's the president of Memphis in May. And then hopefully I can convince or con him into putting the karaoke night on the bill. Wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that be great? Would karaoke night be the guy to get you out there? Wouldn't you love to see a crowd of people expecting, some sort of, rapper or pop star or rock band, and then they are subjected to the karaoke night for half an hour? Wouldn't that would be performance art. That's what that would be. That's what Kanye should have done instead of going out and talking about Hitler. So we'll see if we can get the karaoke night on the Music Fest bill, and we'll also hear from the karaoke night in a little bit. So tons to talk about, tons to do here in the Nation of Jake on News Talk 98.9, the Roar of Memphis. First up, I want to revisit this. Late in the program, we had this story about a bill that has been introduced in the Tennessee State Legislature. This bill would require a gun permit in Shelby and Davidson counties. Now, we already have a law statewide for permitless carry or constitutional carry, meaning that you can carry a gun so long as you're over the age of 21 without any kind of permit, without having, paid any fees or gone to any classes. All right, well, there's at least one state senator, London Lamar, out of Memphis, a Democrat, who says that it's leading to too much crime in Shelby and Davidson counties. More than a year after Tennessee's permitless carry bill was signed into law, State Senator London Lamar wants to roll it back in Shelby and Davidson counties, which I think there's going to be some problems with, just like making carve-outs of certain counties, right? That doesn't really sit well with me. Lamar says the current law is making both areas more dangerous. According to Senator Lamar, right now, if you look at the data from many of our cities regarding violent crime and use of guns, that number has increased and more violent crime has happened. All right, she says that, and a lot of people will just take it for granted that that's true, even though I'm not sure it's true, because just a month ago, on November 4th, not even a month ago, we've got this from the Shelby County Crime Commission. Early numbers from the TBI are indicating a decline in violent crime in Memphis through the first 3 quarters of the year 2022. In Memphis, major violent crime is down 6.1% from 2021 and down 6.2% for all of Shelby County, according to the Crime Commission. Those decreases were spurred on by a 9% decrease in aggravated assaults, lower rape and murder rates also playing a role. Major violent crime includes aggravated assault, rape, murder, and robbery, with the latter being the only one to have increased so far in 2022. That would be robbery. The Crime Commission pointed to people returning to a more normal way of life after the pandemic as the reason for the 15% increase in robberies. Now, if you want to look at those numbers, that's a short time, but, comparing 2022 to 2021, when the permitless carry was implemented, when it was passed and implemented in July of 21, it appears that maybe that is contributed to a decrease in crime. And it, I mean, we're not going to have record homicides this year. That's good. Homicides, murders, they've gone down. Aggravated assaults have actually gone down. So if you want to make the argument that this permitless carry law has led to an increase in crime, maybe, Senator Lamar, you should show me an increase in crime. Yeah, you can show me the increase in crime since the low point in 2011. You can show me the 110% increase in gun crime since 2011. But that does not mean that the cause of it is this permitless carry. That's just a bad argument. It is not supported by fact or by stats. She says then, right now our urban core has demonstrated that we are at a capacity of not being able to handle such a free law when it comes to guns, which...
I don't even know what the hell that means.
Let's break it down. Our urban core, you know, when people talk about our urban core, they're talking about demographics is what they're talking about. And hold on to that for a second. Our urban core has demonstrated that we are at a capacity of not being able to handle such a free law. That is not an economy of words. It's very hard to understand what she's saying. But it sounds like to me that London Lamar is saying, and again, it sounds like she's saying that black people cannot be trusted with their Second Amendment rights. And if you, without beating around the bush, that's exactly what she's saying. Now, if a white person like myself says that, I am racist. I would never say something like that. I'm trying to interpret this word vomit that she has put forth. Right now, our urban core has demonstrated that we are at capacity of not being able to handle such a free law. I mean, that just doesn't even...
I don't even know what the hell that means.
All right, so I think that's pretty gross. Look, if I were a black person and somebody representing me in the state Senate said that, these folks, you know, in the urban cores, they can't handle this freedom. They're not responsible enough. That would rub me the wrong way. Look, I'll never be able to empathize with that position, but I can try the thought experiment thinking, wait, what now? Well, so you're going to allow people in more rural areas outside of Shelby and Davidson County to have permitless carry, but all the residents of Shelby and Davidson County, by virtue of being residents of that county, they just can't handle it. That's also a bad argument. That's a terrible argument. It's a terrible thing to say about individuals, isn't it? Now, the other thing is this. You know, London Lamar, she says all these things, and she's of course they're true, right? Oh, yeah, people in Shelby County, they're savages. They can't handle having permitless carry. They got to take a gun class. She says that too. If you know how to use a gun, that comes with the rules of taking a gun class, she says. What? No, not necessarily. That's it. If you're a law-abiding citizen, you can have your gun. This is not taking away or banning guns in any way, she said. What? I'm just wondering, you know, as a thought experiment, what other constitutional rights require a class or a permit? That's what I want to know. Your First Amendment rights, in order to enjoy free speech and not be locked up for saying things, not have the government take action against you for expressing your opinion. Should you have to take a class or get a permit for free speech? Where's your free speech permit? Oh, you got to take a class. I mean, I really don't make much of a distinction between amendments. I mean, they are constitutional rights endowed by the Creator. A lot of the rights that we enjoy, most of them, if not all, are negative rights. It's things the government can't do to you, like the words shall not be infringed. Well, how about the right to vote? You know what? I might make that deal. In order for you to exercise your right to vote, you got to take a class, a civics class. That'd be great. Before you rock the vote, rock a civics test. That would be wonderful. So I don't know. Like, so on all the prongs of this argument that she makes is that the crime is up since this law was enacted. Well, that's not true. Also making the argument that people in the urban core don't have the capacity to have such a free law or the freedom to protect themselves. That's not going to fly. Nobody else could say that. And then it's simple. You know, if you want the right to carry a firearm as outlined in the Second Amendment, you got to take a class. That's it. No. Do I have to take a class not to be subject to unreasonable search and seizure? Do I have to take a class in order to avoid cruel and unusual punishments? No. So This is a bad bill. It's supported by bad arguments. 683-0989, 683-0989. I hope that clears things up. I don't really see this going anywhere. In a little bit, what are we going to do? We'll talk more about Wanda Halbert, Shelby County Clerk, not making herself available to talk to the media. And that means she's not making any availability for you to explain to you why that Riverdale office is not yet open, why they've blown through 2 deadlines now. And I'm guaranteeing you it's not going to be open until 2023. We'll talk about that in a little bit. The karaoke night will drop by. Next, though, I want to get to your texts. What band, what artist, what performer would be a no-brainer that you would buy the ticket for Music Fest? The tickets are on sale now. There's no lineup, but we can make our own lineup, can't we? And then I will try to lobby to have that lineup put in place for us in the Nation of Jake. I will use the full force of 100,000 watts. That's right, of radio waves that won't behave. And we'll do it next right here in the Nation of Jake. Yeah! Off the request line for Dio-Cember, The Mob Rules. This is a Dio-era Black Sabbath celebrating Dio-Cember. Ronnie James Dio, one of the most fantastic metal vocalists, if not the greatest of all time there on the request line. Killer. Dave the Gutter Man. Hippie Dave. That's for you, buddy. Yeah, I'll take requests. Only Dio-Cember, though. Only Ronnie James Dio requests. I asked you to text 683-0989, 683-0989, and tell me what is the band, the one, that would get you to pony up big bucks for some passes to Music Fest. Passes are on sale now. I guess they're saying, hey, there's no lineup yet, but if you want to get the early bird passes, discount passes, if you trust the guys at Memphis and May, Jim Holt and his crew, to put together a killer lineup, then you can save a little bit of money. You can take advantage of the good deal now because the lineup doesn't come out until February. But I wanted to know from you, just kind of get an idea of what kind of bands would pull you out, because it takes a lot to get me out of the house, pay money for a concert. Look, I've been in radio since I was, 17 years old. I don't like paying for concert tickets. I'm not into it. So if there's a band that you would follow, I know people follow like Fish, back in the day, The Dead. I guess what's that, Rat Dog now? Regardless, the band that I love the most to go see live is Clutch. Clutch is the greatest rock band on the planet right now. I love all their songs. It doesn't matter from what era. I go there, I know they're going to have a balanced set list. I'm going to enjoy myself. So I will pay money to go see Clutch. In fact, Music Fest, Clutch, Cake, and Queens of the Stone Age was probably the greatest lineup I've ever seen. That wasn't all that long ago. All right, so 683-0989. Bud, the producer, what are the people saying?
So Jared just chimed in with Skillet.
Skillet! I don't know, man. Skillet, they've been around for a long time. Mr. Cooper and Skillet, they've changed their sound so many times with the times that I really don't know what they sound like anymore. But I know that they're very popular, especially with the church-going crowd. I think they're a Christian band.
So we also got Memphis Trash says the Acacia Strain. Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Acacia Strain?
Yeah, metal band, I think.
All right.
I think they're pretty heavy from what I understand.
Brett says Billy Idol.
Billy Idol is classic. I saw Billy Idol, like late model Billy Idol. He's fantastic, man. And you know all the songs. Here's the thing, Eyes Without a Face, White Wedding, Rebel Yell. Those are the hits. But then even when you get into the catalog, like some of the later hits, like Rock the Cradle of Love, and Billy still rocks, man. He's old. He's not a young man anymore. So
He's too old.
What else we got?
We got a first-time texter. Don says he listens every day, though. Thanks, buddy. Megadeth, Iron Maiden, and Metallica.
Good Lord,
that's a strong
big
lineup
three. there. Yeah, that's
who headlines?
Yeah, that's Monsters of Rock stuff right there.
And then I got we'll just handle this. Blair says AC/DC, Stones, or Paul McCartney, and absolutely not the karaoke night.
Oh, come on, man! The karaoke night to kind of like break up all the rock, like as a palate cleanser. I think the karaoke night should host his own stage at Music Fest. That's what I think should happen. You have the karaoke night.
I'll get my
stage.
ticket.
Yes.
We're also, let's see, 38 Special, Slayer. Sorry, I can't name all you guys. Chevelle.
Slayer,
they're
Slayer
coming
would
in
be
fast.
Great. Oh yeah, they're coming in fast and furious. I'm just getting
Faith
an idea.
No More.
Getting an idea. I mean, we got a lot of rockers.
Prodigy.
That's on brand.
Seeing Prodigy.
Prodigy though. Uncle G says Prodigy.
Isn't he dead? Isn't that guy dead?
Yeah, Keith from Prodigy has passed on. He is not alive anymore. So I don't know.
That's a hologram. Him, you
they're
know,
available.
they got that hologram technology up and running well enough.
Yeah, I think Walden is speaking my language here. He says Faith No More or any band featuring Mike Patton. Yeah, if you had Faith No More with Mike Patton or Mike Patton, what was the other bands he was in? Tomahawk. Mike Patton's just a phenomenal vocalist. He was in a ton of other bands. I know Tomahawk is one of them. He says it's not. What's the other band? Oh, I can't think of it. All right, either way, we'll check in on more bands in a little bit. Also, we've got where's Wanda is the question of the day. All right, Friday.
Yes, have some.
The 2nd of December. The Nation of Jake, News Talk 98.9, the roar of Memphis in a little bit. We'll hear from the karaoke night. We'll have another selection from Sir Sing-A-Lot. Sir Sing-A-Lot is a mysterious fellow. He pops in every week. He regales us with his talent for singing songs that you know, modern or classic rock songs in his own medieval style. It's a fun game you play. You try to decipher what the karaoke night is singing, and we will have a visit from the karaoke night in about 20 minutes or so. So keep it right here on News Talk 98.9. Also, still taking your texts. Basically, what's the band you will pay to see? Music Fest is coming up 2023 back in Tom Lee Park if all goes well, May 5th through the 7th. Tickets are on sale now. There's no lineup. This is like the early bird special. It's like a grab bag kind of situation. If you know that you are an avid concert goer and you're going to go down there anyway, it might be a good deal. But most people, in my experience, they would like to know what concert they're paying for in advance. So what is the one band, if you could choose, to get you down there to Tom Lee Park in 2023? Again, if all goes well. I've been asking you that on the Rick's Powder Coating text line, 683-0989, 683-0989. Well, it is official, guys.
Immediately notify you all when we are ready or close to even being ready. And that should be no later than the end of the month, 1st of December.
That's right. The new Riverdale office of the Shelby County Clerk has blown through its second deadline. I guess the first deadline was Halloween. The second deadline was this soft deadline of end of November, early December, or December 1st, because now we're on December 2nd. It's gone. There's no chance. There's no chance. You can't go back in time, apparently, unless you've got the dial of destiny. More on that in a little bit. I do have an inside man. He is now an inside man. He is an intrepid reporter. He is out there at Mullins Station. All right, he's been out there for now 2 hours. This is my cousin. He goes by the code name Yogi. All right, now Yogi went out 2 hours ago. 1:36, he texted me that he was on site at the Shelby County Clerk's office at Mullins Station. All right, so I've got timestamps of all of this. 12:36 it was. I just arrived at the county clerk's office in Shelby Farms. He was 30th in the outside line. I've got photos. He was not last in line like Ronnie James Dio, but he was close to it at the time. He had 3 non-English speaking gentlemen behind him and also a little person. All right, so now we've got, they were taking in groups of people in the line. Like the line was long, the line was outside, so they're taking groups of people then inside. That was, I guess, the modus operandi now of the Shelby County Clerk's office. They allow a large group inside one at a time. The guard did allow codename Yogi to go to the restroom, but then he had to go back and take his place in line with the non-English speaking fellas and the little person. I guess they were in the same group. He says that he is 2 hours in, that he's finally inside the long line. The line you enter, and there are more people and more people and more people. But they are calling people by numbers now. He is number 87, and they are now serving number 47. So that is kind of the process by which our inside man is going through now. He will keep me going with an elapsed time of his service there. Look, I don't know that it's going to be any better with a Riverdale office open. But that sounds excruciatingly painful to go there at like noon 37 and you're there for 2 full hours and then you still have 40 people ahead of you. That is unacceptable, to say the least. It's never been like that. Never, man. I've had so many different vehicles. Look, I've had a lot of vehicles in my life. I was a kind of a reckless driver back in the day, and I crashed a lot of cars. I was always having to get, new clunkers, jalopies, and get them registered. And it never took me more than maybe 45 minutes to get a new tag or renewal. Now it's taking people on average hours. You got to take the damn day off work, right? So this office has failed. This
organization has never failed.
Never failed, except can't meet deadlines to open up new offices. You can't meet deadlines to renew the leases on old offices, and that's why you have to open a new office.
I cannot explain the long lines.
You are inefficient and inept. That's how you explain the long lines. Now we've got a more detailed account of this opening deadline that was missed. From the outside, the new Shelby County Clerk's office in Southeast Memphis looks ready to go, but it remained closed on Thursday, December 1st, missing a second target date for the opening. Shelby County Clerk Wanda Halbert set the December 1st opening date in late October as she told the Shelby County Commissioners she would not make their target opening date of Halloween. We've heard that clip a million times. Halbert could not be reached for comment, and that's really what is becoming a problem. Wanda Halbert is, as she's always pointed out, she is a government official.
I'm a government official.
You've heard it a billion times that she's a government official and she's not a fool.
We are not fools in this office. We are government officials.
And she was elected by the people of Shelby County to run that clerk's office. I have no idea how she was elected after all the long lines, after the backlog.
We've never had a backlog.
You did too have a backlog. You absolutely had a backlog.
Respectfully, I am offended.
Be offended. Oh, that said, look, attempts to phone Halbert for comment were unsuccessful with a cell number that had no voicemail set up and a call to the clerk's office, which drew a recorded greeting that included no listing of Halbert's extension or any other one to leave a message. The communication is everything. And especially if you are not just an elected official. She likes to say she's an elected official, a government official. But no, you're a public servant, and you have failed. You have failed to serve the public adequately. We've got Kristen on the Rick's Powder Coating text line right now. My mom was just there for 3 hours trying to get her tags as well. They sent her away because they wouldn't accept the picture of her title that my dad sent her from the house. She said she had checked what she needed to bring with her, but the lady working was hateful to everyone, didn't want to be there. And that all starts at the top. Wanda Halbert has set all these people who work in these offices up to be inundated with unhappy people because they're waiting in line for 3 hours. So no, they're just, they go there and the lines are always long. People are always in a bad mood. And that's what you have. You've got a toxic work environment. Now back to this new office that is yet to open. A look through the windows of the converted bank branch at 3785 Riverdale Road showed office equipment hooked up and plugged in at several desks, teller windows with protective glass and other furnishings, suggesting the office is close to opening. Shelby County Chief Administrative Officer Harold Collins told commissioners back on Halloween that county administration had completed its work on the office and turned over a set of the building keys so commissioners could look for themselves. Harold Collins told Bill Dries over at the Daily Memphian on Wednesday, November 30th, the work noticed through the windows is all part of the build-out that county administration completed a month ago. He said he had not heard anything from Halbert's office about when the office might open. Minutes after he turned the keys over to the commissioners, Halbert told commissioners the clerk's office had to install security measures and other features unique to the clerk's office beyond that build-out. She estimated that the work would delay the opening into early December. In an October email to commissioners, Halbert set the December 1st target date. In the discussion with commissioners that followed, Halbert was more general, saying late November or early December. So I guess she could still, kind of wiggle her way into not having failed once again by saying, oh, when I said 1st of December, I didn't mean the first day of December. I meant the first part of December. But it doesn't seem like she's real close. It seems like they're farther off. If the opening was imminent, she would be calling people back. She would be making herself available. And look, when you are a government official, as Wanda Halbert has been very clear,
I'm a government official.
Then you have to make yourself available to the general public. Your number, your contact is public information at this point. You don't have the same reasonable expectation of privacy. I'm not saying that her whole life has to be dumped out in front of everybody, but you open yourself up to criticism, like when you go to Jamaica while your staff deals with this backlog.
We've never had a backlog.
You did too. Absolutely had a backlog. We're not stupid. So right now she is absolutely derelict in her duties, and so now you've got people say, what are you going to do about it? At the rules right now, you have to have 5% of Shelby County voters to sign a petition for any kind of a recall. You still can't do a recall for another few months. Well, she reelected in August. You have to wait 180 days, which is 6 months to even start that process. So it's very difficult. You're just kind of stuck. And again, she's in there for another term. There's real no way, no sufficient or immediate way to hold her accountable. You just got to kind of deal with it, And who really thinks, with the holidays coming up, that people will be working double time to get this place open? They got to get it staffed. And then again, look, it's not like everything's going to run smoothly. It's not like, hey, all the problems are going to go away. You're still going to have long lines. You're still going to have unhappy people working there. It's still going to be inefficient. The wait times are absolutely ridiculous. There's really no excuse. You can say it was COVID. You can say it's that they don't pay people enough. What was it about Wayne Mashburn or Jane S. Crason or any other previous county clerk that they were able to run the office efficiently? It was the same offices. I think, maybe with a few changes here and there. You used to have one at Carrefour Mall over there at the corner of Poplar and Kirby. You had the one at Exeter. You had them. Those are the ones that I frequented. You had one in Millington. Even the one in Millington, which is like the gem, which is like the one where you can get in and out. There were huge lines the other day. I was getting texts. All you guys are experiencing it on different levels. So she's absolutely 100% failed. And the worst part about it is she won't make herself available to media or even the commission. It's just on her terms. And then when she does get in front of the media, she's really defiant. She's like, "No, we've never failed." So yeah, I'm still waiting. Codename Yogi over here. He's still number 87, and they are on 47. He says we'll get an update from Codename Yogi, the inside man, in real time, and we'll do that coming up next hour. All right, 683-0989, 683-0989. That is the Rick's Powder Coating text line. What's the band that's going to get you out of the house? What's the band that's going to make you whip out that credit card and buy tickets to Music Fest? The tickets went on sale today, but there's no lineup. We can make our own lineup. I'm hoping that we can convince Jim Holt from Memphis in May to let the karaoke night get involved in Memphis in May in Music Fest. I think he'd be a great addition, maybe as an MC. Maybe the karaoke night can maybe have his own stage. Maybe you get some medieval minstrels and have the karaoke night just kind of out there and about there in Tom Lee Park, bringing joy to people. Maybe we can turn Music Fest into a Renaissance fair of sorts. There's all kinds of ideas. We'll put those together. But we will get a visit from Sir Sing-A-Lot, the karaoke night, and we'll do it next right here in the Nation of Jake.
All right, welcome back.
Yes, have some.
The Nation of Jake, NewsTalk 98.9, the roar of Memphis. Here we go. Codename Yogi is at the Mullins Station, Shelby County Clerk's office. He has got number 87. He is inside. He is ready to be served. And 57 is next. He's got still 30 ahead of him. He's been there since noon 30. He's been there since 12:30 p.m. So it's been over 2 hours now, and he's still 30 people away. We will check in on the progress of Codename Yogi coming up more in a little bit there at the Wanda Halbert's clerk's office. All right. What else do we have? Oh, yeah. 683-0989, the Rick's Powder Coating text line. We're talking about bands you would pay to see, essentially. The Music Fest passes are on sale today, but it's kind of like a grab bag early bird special. There's no lineup, so you can get discounted passes if you commit to buying before they release the lineup. It's not something I would do, but some people would, and some people are as we speak. What band would make you buy a ticket? 683-0989. Bud, who do we have?
So we got an anonymous texter that says Chevelle.
Chevelle? Really? Look, I loved Chevelle's first album, and I know I sound like a total jerk when I say stuff like that. Point number one, the first album from Chevelle, it was produced by Steve Albini, and it was very raw, and it wasn't a big hit, but it kind of put them on the map. You remember this one? This is... It does this for like 2 minutes. It was awesome. There's a radio edit too, but I remember when this came out, I was working the rock radio, and I was like, yeah, this is like throwback. This is like Helmet. This is good. But then it got a little bit slicker. And so, no, I don't know anything really past this album. The Red, I guess the second album was pretty good. And then they just sound like every other band. So, I really don't. It's cool. Like, if Chevelle will bring you out, they could probably do it. They could probably get Chevelle out there. Who else?
There's a lot, I was thinking about it, Jake. There's a lot of those bands where I wouldn't necessarily put them in my CD player, but if they're live, I'd check it out. I don't know if I'd go out of my way for it, but it'd be, it'd be fun.
I saw them at the Daisy. I saw them at the Daisy, but way back, like one of those electric Christmas shows we used to do, and they were fantastic. Then I saw them at a bigger show, and I was just kind of bored. It's just, I like seeing the bands come up. But once they get too big, I'm like, yeah, I've seen this. I've seen it. Who else we got?
Disturbed, another anonymous texter.
Oh.
Wants to see Disturbed.
Ooh, that guy?
Yeah, they kind of fell off for me on the second album.
Hey, that guy just made weird noises. Look at Howie Mandel, too. David Draymond, he's a lot of fun. Who else?
Slayer.
Yeah.
Another anonymous texter.
Yeah, Slayer's
Santana or Willie Nelson.
You know
or
what?
Is it Santana, Willie Nelson? I don't know if there's no comma there.
Well, yeah, Santana, Carlos, who I believe was ill not long ago, and of course Willie Nelson. I mean, those guys are legends. I would absolutely. I skipped my senior prom to see Bob Dylan, and I hate Bob Dylan, but I skipped my senior prom because I didn't like the girl I agreed to go with, and I was like, you know what? How often do you get to see Bob Dylan? And because he's so old. So I went to go see Bob Dylan at Music Fest.
We got a few coming in real quick. Let me go ahead and
let's go.
Let me rapid fire through them. Shinedown, Smashing Pumpkins, Ghost, and what was this one? I lost that one. Oh, you already said Helmet.
Yeah, well, I
Living
like
Color.
Living Color, that'd be fun. Only for a few songs.
Oh, Ministry. Chris just popped that one in there.
Al Jorgensen's Ministry. That'd be fantastic. What was that song they had? The New World, Just One Fix. And they had that New World Order. They sampled George Bush. New World Order. Ministry era with the techno-industrial stuff. So, yeah, I'd be into it.
Is that just New Order? You mean New Order?
No, they had a song that was like New World Order. They sampled.
There's a band called New Order, and they're kind of.
Of course. New Order's amazing.
Yeah, they're pretty awesome.
Blue Monday. From way back in the
Tutti
day.
Frutti is the song I like by them.
Okay. That was by Little Richard. All right, so look. We'll get some more of your bands, too. We're seeing like Dave Matthews. Dave Matthews has a huge following. He's fantastic. I'm not into Dave Matthews, but, Dave Matthews is an exceptional talent. I think what would be cool, though, is that you have all these bands, and then you had the karaoke night come out and do his thing in between bands. I think that would be amazing. So let's get into the karaoke night real quick. I am the karaoke night. Medieval interpretations of your modern rock and roll incantations. Lift me up with harp and lyre, and all hail to me, the karaoke night. All right, you know the way it works. Sir Sing-A-Lot is going to bring you a song. It's a song that you've probably heard. He's changed the lyrics in his own medieval style. It's up to you to decipher the night speak. So, without further ado, here he is, the karaoke night. 'Tis that certain morrow when thy rather not rise from slumber, all is ruined, everyone insufferable. I cannot fully explain, however, you desire to rationalize decapitating a fellow man with thy bare hands. I desire solitude, and should thy address me, I shall employ a murder for hire. Thy wisest move is to keep thy distance, maternal fornicator. 'Tis that certain morrow encompasses conflicting perspectives tween man and lady. Methinks thy should cease, pay no mind, or thy shall retreat with a swollen mouth. Encompasses conflicting perspectives tween man and lady. Methinks thy should cease discussing those feces. I wield a powered axe. I'll shave thy buttocks to the dermis. I wield a powered axe. I'll shave thy buttocks to the dermis, and if my hours continue in this manner, I may fracture thy fornicating countenance this eve. Bequeath to me an item to destroy. Bequeath to me an item to destroy. Bequeath to me an item to destroy. If you know what the hell he was talking about, then text it to 683-0989. 683-0989. That is the Rick's Powder Coating text line. Do you know what song that was? What do you say? A powered axe? Shave thy buttocks to the dermis. Ha! What in the world? This guy.
I don't even know what the hell that means.
Insane is the karaoke night, but I'd love to see him at Music Fest. Hopefully, next week, we're going to invite Jim Holt, the president, the HMFIC of Memphis and May in. We're going to try to sell him out on this idea of the karaoke night being a part of Memphis and May. There you go. Bequeath to me items to destroy. What is the karaoke night singing? Your guess is at 683-0989, 683-0989. Local headlines coming your way next right here in the Nation of Jake.
Damn, boy. That's what I'm talking about, Jake.
I've worked in the private sector. They expect results.
The Nation of Jake on News Talk 98.9, The Roar of Memphis.
All right, welcome back.
Yes, have some.
The Nation of Jake returns for hour number 2 on this Friday, the 2nd of December, year of our Lord 2022. All right, what do we have coming up? We've got the Twitterverse, some fallout from Kanye West's antics yesterday, which is pretty much all of Twitter around this time yesterday was just Kanye West clips. He was praising Hitler. He was loving up the Nazis.
I love Jewish people, but I also love Nazis.
It was odd. It was mind-boggling.
We're going to stop dissing the Nazis all the time.
And now there's consequences because he went on an unhinged Twitter rant, and now Kanye, or Ye, however you want to address him, is no longer on Twitter. How does that square with the free speech of Twitter, the free speech principles that Elon Musk promised to bring? Was just enough? I mean, is he? What did he do to get banned from Twitter? I mean, you can say you love Nazis. I would never say that, but you're free to do that. I mean, you can't be arrested for being a Nazi or loving a Nazi. So what gives, Elon Musk? We'll talk about that coming up in a little bit. Also, a wild story from Bay St. Louis, Mississippi. I spent every summer of my life in Bay St. Louis, Mississippi as a youngster into my teen years. Still have a ton of family down there. And there's a national trending story coming out of small town Bay St. Louis. And this one is wild. We could put this one on the wheel of weird if we wanted to. We'll get into that in a little bit. We'll see what else is trending. Also, I got a bad feeling that this Samuel Bankman-Fried, or Sam Bankfraud, that he's going to get away with all of this. He is going to get away with it. I'll tell you why I think that he is going to be scot-free at the end of all this FTX scandal, losing billions of dollars of other people's money. It's all coming your way, and we got some local headlines, but we do have to settle the karaoke night. He was singing about God knows what, shaving people's butts or something.
A powered axe! I'll shave thy buttocks to the dermis! I wield a powered axe! I'll shave thy buttocks to the dermis! And if my hours continue in this manner, I may fractionate, fornicating countenance deceive! Bequeath to me an item to destroy! Bequeath to me an item to destroy!
All right, we had a lot of guesses on the Rick's Powder Coating text line at 683-0989. Bud the producer, what are some of the guesses that we had?
Someone guessed Wu-Tang Clan, unless they're talking about showing up to the. There's no context.
No,
but
no, I don't think anybody was guessing that was Wu-Tang Clan.
Yeah, killing in the name of came up.
That is not correct. That is wrong.
You lose. Good day, sir.
And then a bunch of people that got it, but I don't know if they're actually right because I don't actually know the title of the song. I know the song, but I don't know what the actual title of it is.
Somebody asked if it was Appetite for Destruction, which I don't think that's a song. I think that is an album by Guns N' Roses. So
Wrong, sir. Wrong.
What do you think the right answer is, Bud?
Isn't it? Does it break stuff or is it?
Yeah, it is.
It's just one of those days where you don't want to wake up. Everybody sucks. You don't really know why, but you want to justify. If someone's head off, no human contact.
Yeah, a little Limp Bizkit action. Woo! Yeah, that's a.
I always thought it was just one of those days.
You got to find the radio edit of that one. You cannot let that one fly on the old radio. The FCC would frown on that. We would get in all kinds of trouble. But yeah, I guess something about I pack a chainsaw, I'll skin your raw, break stuff. Bequeath me
the
items
chainsaw
to
was
destroy.
how I got. That was what did it for me. That was how I caught it.
It's a very stupid song,
yes.
As were most of Limp Bizkit's songs. But you know what? I might go see them at Music Fest. I might. It'd be fun. They did like a reunion tour not long ago, just for novelty purposes, not because I really enjoy the music, but I will venture to say this. Their first album, it still bangs, man. That first one, the first $3 bill, y'all, before they got real goofy with the nookie and the chainsaws, that first album was pretty good. It was Ross Robinson produced it. It was a pretty powerful record as far as sonically. Powerful lyrically, not really. It was stupid.
Their guitarist is like super talented, isn't he?
Oh, Wes Borland. Yeah, he's an amazing guitar player. The problem was never with the music with Limp Bizkit. It was always with the vocals because they're always stupid. But if you didn't have fun experiencing Limp Bizkit, if you were, say, in high school or college in the 90s, then you missed the point completely. Because Limp Bizkit was totally fun. Rage Against the Machine, those guys were a downer. Those guys were rapping about how awesome socialism is. Whether you had Limp Bizkit, they was rapping about stupid stuff, having fun, and breaking stuff. So I was a fan back then. Let's get into some local headlines. All right, here we go. Touched on it a bit yesterday. King Steve Mulroy, the DA of Shelby County, has announced a Justice Review Unit. This unit is open for business, says Mulroy. It's already taken requests to review cases. The county's first ever Justice Review Unit will independently review felony cases for wrongful convictions or wrongful sentencing. Mulroy said the point was to correct injustices. I wonder how many innocent people do you think have been convicted and are currently serving time in Shelby County? Like, as far as a percentage, I would say it has to be very low, especially when you consider how many of these cases are settled with deals. So, look, is it a great use of resources? Probably not. But do I like the idea of people who are innocent doing time? No. So I'm not going to get really up in arms about this. There are plenty of things to criticize the DA Steve Mulroy for, but it is still early in his term. He hasn't really been able to do much yet. I take exception with his overall philosophy in a lot of cases, but something like this, I'm okay with. The unit is being led by 2 veteran attorneys who will carry on the caseload. Chief Lorna McCluskey said only defendants and their attorneys can apply for a case review. If it meets certain criteria, there will be an in-depth review. So this is something that's been going on. Well, I can't think of anything much worse than locking somebody up for something they didn't do. That's it's pretty awful to think about. However, I don't know how often that really happens, unless you ask people on the inside. Red, everybody here's innocent, as Andy Dufresne famously said in Shawshank, which, by the way, was a movie. It was a book and then a movie. It wasn't real. All right, coming up, we've got, let's see, another EV plant. It's going to open up in the Mid-South. Hey, Bud, you've been reading about electric vehicles, right?
Yeah.
Have you heard about this group, Mullen? This company, Mullen? Mullen Automotive.
I haven't heard of that one.
No, I've
Rivian,
heard,
I came across, but not that one.
Yeah, Rivian is one. I guess they're making trucks out of Georgia. You've got Tesla, of course, is the most advanced of the electric vehicle developers. And Ford's doing EVs. Chevy's doing EVs. You've heard of Ford and Chevy. There was one that I saw, my buddy Mike, he had some super rich people staying at his home. And there was, I don't know, there's another EV brand that is, it's nobody's heard of it because only 0.5% of the population can afford it.
If you have to ask, you can't afford it, that kind of thing.
Yeah. So I walked into the garage. And it's a nice place, Mike's dad's place. It was like a garden party during the golf tournament over there, Southwind. And I walked out what is this? He's like, oh, this is high-end EV stuff. This is nobody can afford it, therefore they don't do any general marketing. So there's a few out there. But Mullen Automotive is scheduled to start producing commercial electric vehicles next year. Maybe that's why, because they do commercial electric vehicles. They're going to produce these down in Tunica County, Mississippi. It's going to bring hundreds of jobs to the region. Mullen will be producing the vehicles at a newly acquired property in Indiana and produce electric commercial cargo vehicles at the facility in Tunica County, formerly home to Green Tech Automotive, which closed after filing bankruptcy. So it's kind of a great match here because they got a turnkey space, 120,000 plus square feet. The capacity to build a couple million square feet there with a lot of room to grow even bigger, according to Jason Putnam, Mullen Automotive's vice president of marketing. So they're also looking at a production site in Memphis. They have not settled on a specific site. So between this and Blue Oval City, you're going to have not only those two producers of electric vehicles, you're going to have all the other businesses that go along, all the other ancillary businesses, parts, batteries, all that stuff. So the Mid-South could be a pretty big hub for electric vehicles. I'm told, is this Fisker? That doesn't ring a bell as far as this EV. I'll text my buddy Mike and we'll find out what kind of vehicle that was, and maybe we'll find out. Bud, maybe you could do a little bit of research on some of the higher end EVs out there. All right, we've got, check this out. Accused thieves are targeting locksmiths, and they're stealing these programming machines for key fobs. A locksmith at Techno Lock Keys was helping a customer last week when 2 young men came into the business on Summer Avenue asking about key fobs for Infinities. The manager there, Dan Matta, told the men they couldn't have them. I guess they're proprietary. You just can't have that kind of... Look, there's locksmiths. They have a lot of proprietary equipment. When you call, the Papa Lock or whoever, they've got these tools that you don't see out on the shelves. All right, what is the one, man? I was out one night. This is a quick story. And I locked my keys in my car. I was driving a 1996 Isuzu Trooper. This was probably mid 2006. And I was out and I locked my keys in my car, and it was 1 a.m. And when you call the Papa Lock guy at 1 a.m., it costs you a buttload. All right. So he comes out. He says, hey, this is going to make you mad. I'm like, why? He's like, because this is going to be easy. He put some sort of bladder. He pried the door open, put this deflated bladder into the car door, and he pumped it up in the air. He was able with one hand. he was able to, with air, pry open the door a little bit and then boom, unlock. It took less than 15 seconds. And he's like, yeah, that'll be like $130. I was like, oh, man. So, locksmith, a lot of proprietary equipment. So he told these guys he couldn't have these machines, so they left. And then from there, the men went to the back of the building, broke into his work van, and stole 2 key programming machines worth just under $20,000. Technolock Keys has been hit 3 times over the past year. This time, the thieves got away with a Smart Pro key programmer valued at $17,000 and an Auto Pro Pad key programmer worth $2,900. The machines allow criminals to program keys for most vehicles. So you've got some criminals who now, in turn, can just go around and make whatever they want and get into any car they want. They have their own black market key fob production business. That is not comforting to know. And then we have a trial, a big trial. I don't know. This is going down today, the sentencing. But remember, Martez Abram, a man accused of a deadly shooting in South Haven in the Walmart in 2019, was found guilty Thursday of 2 counts of capital murder and 1 count of attempted murder. 2 Walmart employees, 38-year-old Brandon Gales and 40-year-old Anthony Brown, were killed. A police officer was also shot but survived. Video from inside the courtroom shows Martez Abram holding his head and trying to look away as he watched what seemed to be a video of those events. When asked if he was the person in the video, Abrams said yes. He will be sentenced today, and I guess we will get word on how long he's going to jail for. And it should be forever. Forever. Double murder. Forever. You don't get out. You don't get out. I don't think this happened yet. It happened in South Haven, so I don't know if Steve Mulroy will be able to review it at any point. I don't think it's in his jurisdiction.
Hey, Jake, I think I found that EV. Was it a Lucid Air?
Yes,
yeah,
that was it.
I knew there was this like high-end luxury brand. I couldn't think of the name of it. It was probably.
That's exactly what it was. I walked out into this garage and I said, "Lucid." Mike, what's a Lucid? He's like, "Yeah, if you have to ask, you'll never know."
Yeah, we talked about these on Motor Mouths a while back. They start at $90,000.
That is a lot of money. A lot of money. I will never own a Lucid Air.
Yeah, no thanks.
I'm just going to wait for the Jeep conversion kits to make my. Just seriously, in the future, there's going to be a conversion kit because you're going to have look if they get away from oil and gas like they say they're going to, you're going to have so many internal combustion engine cars. Where do you put them all? Where are you going to put all these things? You got to reuse. Somebody will come up with a way to do like an affordable conversion kit or black market hydrogen. So they do all those hydrogen mods now anyway. So we'll get into that. We'll talk about that. You guys can talk about that on Motor Mouth. I'll leave it to you guys, and we'll pump you. When's the Motor Mouths on? This weekend, bud.
We haven't been doing new episodes because it's Tiger season. So we're probably going to be doing Saturday afternoons, but it's yet to be determined.
So you're in between seasons. I can't wait for season 2 of the Motor Mouths on NewsTalk 98.9. All right, coming up, we will see what is trending in the Twitterverse. I also have a bad feeling that this Sam bank fraud young man is going to get away scot-free, and I'll tell you why next right here in the Nation of Jake. All right, welcome back.
Yes, have some.
The Nation of Jake, News Talk 98.9, the roar of Memphis, 683-0989, 683-0989. As you know, on Fridays, the text line, the Rick's Powder Coating text line, is wide open. Anything you got for me, anything that you want to bring back up from this week, maybe you saw something on a story that I missed, or there's been a new development, any breaking news, anything out there with traffic, anything you got is welcome on the Rick's Powder Coating text line at 901-683-0989. We're going to see what is trending in the Twitterverse coming up in a little bit. I want to revisit this Samuel Bankman-Fried story. Yesterday, the guy was all over the place. Might have been the day before. The New York Times had a panel. He was on talking about the rise and fall of FTX. I think that a lot of people are trying to paint him as, this young man just got in over his head. You know, he meant well, but he just did some things wrong, and he was unlucky with the crypto crash, and they're making a lot of excuses for him. And it's almost like they're already trying to prehab his image. You know, instead of rehabbing it, they just want to save him from himself. So he's going out and saying a lot of stuff, and he's not doing it through an attorney, which I don't know what that's about. Or maybe he feels bulletproof. I don't know. But he was on with George Stephanopoulos on ABC News. A big interview. Here's another clip.
Yeah, it's been a really humbling fall in a lot of ways.
How do you explain the failure? Was it inattention, arrogance?
It's a good question.
Was it unethical?
All right, so yeah, give him all the just leading questions. Was it inattention? Was it arrogance? Was it unethical? Yeah, it's like a multiple choice quiz that George Stephanopoulos is giving to a SBF here.
Some part of it was just literal distraction. I really should have spent some time each day taking a step back and saying, what are the most important things here, right? And like, how do I have oversight of those and make sure that I'm not losing track of those? And frankly, I did a pretty incomplete job at that. I spent a lot less time looking at assets and looking at balances and positions because that's not where revenue came from. And so I wasn't seeing it as a core business driver. Obviously, it was a core risk, and that was a huge mistake of mine to not think more about that.
What he's describing is just being completely and totally negligent. And that's what it sounds like to me. And here's really, I'm getting the feeling that he's going to get away with all of it. He should probably be extradited from the Bahamas, and he should be in jail somewhere for defrauding people of, in some cases, their life savings. Here's why I don't think any of that's going to happen. Maxine Waters is head of the committee that is going to hold hearings on FTX. Maxine Waters has been seen in videos blowing kisses to Samuel Bankman-Fried. And then today, we've got a tweet from Maxine Waters in the U.S. House Committee on Financial Services. It reads as follows. At SBF FTX, which is Samuel Bankman-Fried's Twitter account, we appreciate that you've been candid in your discussions about what happened at FTX. Your willingness to talk to the public will help the company's customers, investors, and others. To that end, we would welcome your participation in our hearing on December 13th. So it appears that one of Samuel Bankman-Fried's investments is paying off, doesn't it? Because he gave so much money to these politicians. It's unbelievable. You know, this is a guy who was touted as the new J.P. Morgan, the new Warren Buffett. He's more like the new Bernie Madoff. But a lot of people, they had a lot riding on FTX. And these are the kind of people who don't like to be wrong. Check this out. On CNBC, this guy was blown up as the king of crypto.
Sam Bankman-Fried is really becoming the industry's lifeline during a crisis lately. I'm fascinated, endlessly fascinated with Sam Bankman-Fried's role in all of this.
You've been now described as the J.P. Morgan, if you will, of the crypto business.
A lot of people called you the savior of crypto, the patron saint of crypto.
The Michael Jordan of crypto, if you will.
Sam Bankman-Fried. Sam Bankman-Fried, the J.P. Morgan of
Fried. SBF, JPM. Do you know SBF?
I mean, it goes on for 2 minutes. Just blowing sunshine up this guy's butt. And he's going to get away with it, isn't he? We'll see what's trending in the Twitterverse next, right here in the Nation of Jake. All right, welcome back.
Yes, have some.
And Nation of Jake, News Talk 98.9, the roar of Memphis. In about half an hour, we'll play Name Drop. I got some more Malco movie passes for you. Name Drop is a game we play every day. We do it around 4:05 or so. Just keep it right here in the Nation of Jake. News Talk 98.9, the roar of Memphis. 683-0989, the Rick's Powder Coating text line. That is 901-683-0989. In a little bit, there's this viral story. I was reading it the other night about a bit of a dust-up on a golf course. And upon further inspection, I saw the setting of this insane story. And it happened to be in a small town where nothing really ever happens. Except all my family lives there. My entire mom's side, which is a huge side of the family, my mom was one of 9 children. So those 9 children begat something like 100 cousins. And so when you have a town that small and you're related to so many people, the degrees of separation are very, very short. There's not many of them. So when I saw this happen in Bay St. Louis, Mississippi, I got on the phone, and yes, I know people who knew exactly what happened. So I got details, minute details of this viral story coming your way in just a little bit. You'll want to keep it here. Viral stories, a lot of them happen on Twitter. So let's see what is trending in the Twitterverse.
Masters of the Twitterverse!
Yeah, big news on Twitter today. This just in from the owner of Twitter, Elon Musk, heads up to Ashley on the Rick's Powder Coating text line. She sent this over just a moment ago. Elon Musk has tweeted, what really happened with the Hunter Biden story suppression by Twitter will be published on Twitter at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. That makes it 4 p.m. Central Time. So we will, about 25 minutes or so, it will be released on Twitter. What happened? How did the Hunter Biden laptop story get suppressed in advance of the 2020 election? It was like the October surprise. They called it Russian disinformation. It was suppressed by Twitter. The New York Post was not allowed to post the link. It was derided as a stunt, misinfo, Russian, whatever it was. And so it could have affected the outcome of that election. We'll never know. But now we're going to see exactly who made the decision, how it all went down in about 25 minutes, and it'll happen, unfold before us on the Twitter, in the Twitter machine, in the Twitterverse. And so I'm looking forward to that. So that's the latest from Elon Musk on Twitter. Now, it was a busy night for Elon Musk on account of Kanye West. All right. Kanye West, we covered it yesterday at length. He made a lot of very odd and offensive, anti-Semitic, pro-Nazi, Hitler-loving comments on the Alex Jones show, which I guess, how do you even watch Alex Jones has been deplatformed, but somebody was able to pull the video and post it all over Twitter.
I think you can
so
go
it really
to the
doesn't matter.
website or something.
Yeah, so he's got his own website. I think he's on one of those YouTube alternatives. So he hasn't been fully suppressed or deplatformed. So the clips got out, and so we heard Kanye West saying all kinds of insane things.
I love Jewish people, but I also love Nazis. We're going to stop dissing the Nazis all the time.
And so then afterwards, I guess he wanted to follow up with some tweets. And so at one point, he was saying all kinds of stuff on Twitter. And at one point, he tweeted out a graphic, which was like a commingled logo incorporating both the Star of David with a swastika. And I guess that was just too much. Elon Musk was like, no more. I'm going to do what's best for you, Kanye West. He cited that, I guess in the terms of service on Twitter, was the incitement of violence, and I guess posting swastikas commingled with the Star of David somehow is an incitement to violence. I think that Elon Musk is doing this to save Kanye from himself more so than it being an actual incitement to violence. It's a kind of a stretch to say that Kanye West incited violence against anybody, but it's also kind of an easy call, seeing the guy just completely having this meltdown on the Twitter. But there's a lot of critics out there saying Elon Musk says he's for free speech, but he's obviously there's limits on it. So being a free speech absolutist is not really. I don't think that using freedom of speech or First Amendment rights is really even appropriate when you're talking about a private company like Twitter. There have to be some rules. Elon Musk owns it, and so he's decided that enough Twitter for you, Kanye. It's kind of like Kanye is like he's a rocket at the top of the list of people who need their phone taken away. On the list, the list that goes around Twitter of top 10 people who need their phone taken away. That is Kanye. Kanye needs to kind of go on a vacation somewhere. Like maybe go buy an island or something. Because,
he needs to take a class on like how conversations work. Because
just really,
he's
just
talking over people and not answering, not saying a response that makes any sense compared to the question he was asked.
He just went unhinged. I mean, look, the stuff that he was saying online yesterday was bad enough. But then to follow it up with a bunch of tweets, it's like, haven't you said enough, bro? Like, don't you have albums to write? Don't you have money to go spend? It seemed very odd. I don't see like anybody, and that was actually the good thing about it. I didn't see a whole lot of people going, yeah, right on, Kanye, right on. But it did yield some great responses. Some people digging stuff up. Did you ever see the Bill Burr bit about Kanye West and all the stuff that Kanye would say? This is one of those deals. Somebody dug it up after the fact. This is spot on.
Next time Kanye's going off on himself, I'm telling you, just close your eyes, forget it's him, and really listen to what is coming out of this guy's mouth. He's shit like I'm a genius. I'm a god. I'm Shakespeare. My biggest regret is I'll never get to see myself perform live. That's a direct quote. My biggest regret is I'll never get to see myself perform live. Dude, you put that ego in a white dude that is, ich bin einen in the Streisen. What's the Blitzkrieg? What's a superior race? Vienna will return to Deutschland first.
Yeah, pretty good bit by Bill Burr there. I don't know, dead on, really. What you got, bud?
I did not see that coming.
No, not see. Or did you? It made you furious when I saw those.
So a bit more of the Elon stuff. This is kind of amusing. So the New York Times put out this article, and here's their tweet for it. Breaking news: hate speech on Twitter has jumped since Elon Musk took over. Researchers found Musk sent up the bat signal to every kind of racist, misogynist, and homophobe that Twitter was open for business. The head of one of the research groups said that's their source. Elon responds with utterly false, and then he starts posting statistics and data about how the hate speech impressions have gone down. And then he said, we're gonna publish stats on love speech too, as it vastly outweighs the hate speech.
Love speech.
He also shared that they're serving 90 billion impressions per day, which is, for anyone who doesn't know, if you see a tweet on your timeline, that's an impression. It's counted. So there's 90 billion tweets being. That
means there's more tweets being seen, fewer being suppressed. Then,
either way.
I mean, I don't know how they parse the data.
Yeah,
but it's funny. It's like who gets to determine what is hate speech? I mean, if you open up the criteria for hate speech being anything that is hateful or disagreeable or negative, yeah, then you can count it as hate speech. I would like to see what the definition of hate speech is, and that's why that is such a dangerous statute.
I always like Jordan Peterson's take on that. He says, okay, who defines hate speech? And the answer to that is, over any reasonable amount of time, the very people you don't want to define hate speech.
Yeah, I don't want anybody going through and defining speech. Speech just is. I mean, it's different to everybody. It's subjective in a lot of ways. Like, I'm against any kind of speech that is targeted, harassing, or bullying people, or anti-Semitic, racist, all those things, sure. But there are some things that can be interpreted as such that are not. And just so it depends. Like, a study says hate speech is spiked. It's like, okay, what are the parameters here? I'm like, oh, well, we use, whatever. So
the parameters we needed to sell the story we're selling.
Exactly. So I guess, look, the only thing I'm interested right now with regards to Elon Musk is this information on the Hunter Biden laptop.
Did kind of take the spotlight, didn't it?
Yeah. 15 minutes or so. Elon Musk says he's going to release the information on the suppression of the Hunter Biden laptop story. So we will be on hand to see exactly what that is coming up at about 4:05 or so, right around the same time we play Name Drop. Here's a couple clips I found amusing. You have former President Barack Obama was in Georgia stumping for Senator Raphael Warnock, who was locked in this runoff with challenger Herschel Walker. And so I believe that he is taking a shot at Herschel Walker and all the weird stuff he said, vampires and werewolves and, whatever else it is. They want to paint Herschel Walker as being an unhinged weirdo. And it shouldn't be too hard, except the example here, this might be just one of those Freudian slips by by former President Barack Obama.
We all know some folks in our lives who we don't wish them ill will. They say crazy stuff. We're all like, well, you know, Uncle Joe, you know what happened to him.
Uncle Joe? Isn't that what they call Joe Biden? They call him Uncle Joe, Amtrak Joe and Uncle Joe. So what is President Biden or President Obama saying here?
You know, it's okay. They're part of the family, but you don't give them serious responsibilities.
There you go. But he used the example of Uncle Joe. I was like, yeah, I totally agree. You don't give him serious responsibilities. You let him be the vice president. You don't vote him into the presidency. Just seemed like he could come up with any other, what they call those, composites, any other example, any other name than Uncle Joe. So I think that is actually really what President Obama thinks of Joe Biden. What was the quote? Don't underestimate Joe's ability to F things up. Yeah, and I think that was a little bit more truth in there than you think. What else you got, bud?
I got fun stuff now.
Let's go.
So Harvard has completely mapped the entire Great Pyramids of Giza, so you can take a 3D tour, like in VR now if you want to, and it's pretty high def and pretty legit. And then really quick...
Wait, do they have the pyramid downtown? Do they have the Memphis Pyramid, the Bass Pro Pyramid in there too?
I'll probably have to look that up. Maybe that's probably next. That's probably next up. They had to test the equipment first on the Great Pyramids, make sure it was good and high enough quality for the pyramid here in Memphis.
Old busted pyramids.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they had to test it out. And then really quick, if you're a fan of Arizona iced tea, which I know a lot of folks are, they're releasing hard Arizona iced tea.
Oh, really?
So it's going to have some booze in it.
Oh,
and
nice.
yeah, this is straight from their account. They tweeted it out and all they put was soon ... So we don't know exactly when it's coming out, but there's going to be hard Arizona iced tea.
It's not going to be like Robitussin in there, is it?
I don't know.
Is that what they call that lean Arizona iced tea with Robitussin?
The real question is, are they still going to charge 99 cents for it?
That's a good question. That is a great question. I can't imagine they would. I mean, they're adding something to it. I mean, that's the way they're going to increase their margins on the Arizona iced tea. There's a viral video, and I find it hilarious and adorable. I guess a kid had an Avengers birthday party, and they went all out. They had Iron Man. They've got Captain America. They got Black Panther, and they're all fighting Thanos. But I guess some kids took it a little seriously. They really hate Thanos. All the kids started attacking Thanos, too. And this is some poor kid in a Thanos costume. He gets kicked right in the face by a child. Oh, the parent is bedlam. All the children are attacking this guy in a Thanos costume. And now the Avengers, Spider-Man with Captain America, they are all terrified of what's going on. And I will say this, I guess the one problem I have with this video is, but they have Batman in the middle of all this, which that's poor form. You can't commingle DC and Marvel. You can't do that.
I do on my Lego City.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
The Legosity. All right, I'm gonna retweet that so you can go check it out there on at Nation of Jake on Twitter. You can follow along. Bud the producer is at Bud Motormouth. What we like to do is retweet or quote tweet these things so you can check it out. So yes, the children's birthday party, they all joined in and they gave Thanos a beatdown. And when I say this, a kid full on kicks Thanos right in the face. Oh man, they really hate Thanos, do they? I think that was the point. All right, 683-0989, 683-0989, 12 minutes, and we will know what happened with the Hunter Biden laptop suppression. That is according to Elon Musk, the owner of Twitter. He will be releasing exactly what went down. We will definitely be on standby for that. Coming up next, there's a story about some guys, my inside sources from this golf course in Bay St. Louis, Mississippi, says that this was a bet. There was a bet on a golf match, on a golf game, and somebody didn't want to pay off, so there were consequences. This story is absolutely bonkers, and we'll get into it next right here in the Nation of Jake. All right, where are we? Let's see. 15 minutes or so.
Yes, have some.
And we will know, I will tell you what happened with the Hunter Biden laptop. That's right. Elon Musk, just a little while ago, says at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, which would be 4 p.m. Central, he will release on Twitter the story behind the suppression of the Hunter Biden laptop. And we will be right here with all that information as soon as it is available to us. So keep it right here in the Nation of Jake on News Talk 98.9, the Roar of Memphis. All right, so actually it was my father who saw this headline, and he said, "Oh, dude, some guy bit another guy's nose off." And I said, "Nah, that story's old, Dad. That was a guy from the Beyond Meat Company at the football game, right?" And he's like, "No, this happened in Bay St. Louis, Mississippi." And I said, "Wait a second, man. Nothing ever happens in Bay St. Louis. I grew up going to Bay St. Louis every summer of my life. I'm related to half that town. You can't do anything in Bay St. Louis without people knowing about it." So I read the story, and he was right. This is a news story. This has actually made the New York Post. This is a viral story now, national news, coming out of little old Bay St. Louis, the BSL. Mississippi golfer bites off other man's nose in feud over a game. Tell me more. I have to know what happened here. A Mississippi man bit off another man's nose in a fit of rage over a round of golf they played together. Mark Wells, age 51, allegedly sunk his teeth into the victim's nose in a casino parking lot on Monday night and fled the scene in a Tesla before turning himself into police 2 days later. Wells, the victim, and others had been arguing about a golf round they had played at Bridges Golf Course next door to the Hollywood Casino earlier in the day, according to the Bay St. Louis police. I know the area well. Here's how I know. My cousin's father, my Uncle Ray, by marriage, but he's still my Uncle Ray. I've known him all my life. His family owned the land on which that golf course was built. The casino and the golf course, a portion of it, they wanted to come in and take. It was a horse barn. It was a pasture. We used to go out there and ride horses, and then the horseshoes would get thrown off the horse, so we had to go find them because Uncle Ray was cheap. He didn't want to buy new horseshoes. So I know the area very well. The men continued to quarrel over the round of golf throughout the day until it escalated in the parking lot of Hollywood Casino around 9:30 p.m. And Wells of Biloxi, just down the road, allegedly chomped on the man's face. His alleged bizarre and horrific attack left the man's face disfigured.
You bit my new nose off! Damn it!
Oh! He was charged with felony mayhem. Felony mayhem was the charge. And he could face up to 7 years in prison if convicted. He was booked into Hancock County Jail after turning himself in on Wednesday morning. He was released shortly after. He paid the bail. It was $50 bond, and he cashed out for $5,000. Now, my inside sources, my Uncle Ray, his son, my cousin Daniel, he runs a restaurant down there, so he knows everybody. He tells me that the golf pro says that they weren't just arguing over the round of golf. Somebody wasn't like cheating, keeping score. There was a $30,000 bet on this round of golf. Sounds to me like somebody didn't want to pay up. And so $30,000 is a lot of money. And these were all out-of-towners, by the way. I tried to find out who the guy was who got his nose bitten off.
You bit my new nose off! Damn it!
I wanted to have him on the show.
Did he say,
well,
did he
it
say
was
my
brand
new?
new. His new nose. That was from Dirty Work. You know, he got his. Chris Farley's character got his nose bitten off. Then he got a new nose. He got it bitten off again by another prostitute. You know.
You bit my new nose off! Damn it!
So I was actually trying to get the golf pro on, but they've all been told we live in such a litigious society. Don't talk to anybody until the investigation is over. So I struck out on getting the victim because it was some interloper from out of town. Look, when you live in a big small town like Memphis, you know a lot of people. When you live in a small town like Bay St. Louis, you know everybody. So if somebody had gotten their nose bitten off who was a resident of Bay St. Louis, there's a 50% chance that it would be one of my cousins, number one. Number two, you'd know who it was, and it would be everywhere, all over town. But I think these were interlopers. So there's a bunch of out-of-town dudes chomping on each other's faces. What they need to do is at the Bridges golf course, they start issuing those Hannibal Lecter masks so people can't bite noses off or have them bitten off.
You bit my new nose off! Damn it!
Let's play Name Drop. 901-683-0989. Call now.
Jake, where'd you get those boots?
But he's got meat between his ears.
Yeah.
The Nation of Jake on News Talk 98.9, The Roar of Memphis.
All right, welcome back.
Yes, have some.
Here we are. Elon Musk says the laptop suppression story is coming out on Twitter. We're 4 minutes late on it. Come on, Elon.
Well, we're waiting.
It's all right, though. We got things to do in the meantime. Yeah, we got Name Drop, 683-0989, 683-0989. If you want to play, go ahead and call that number. I got some Malco movie passes while we wait for Elon Musk to release the story of the suppression of the laptop. That's what I'm. Bud, have you seen it yet?
No, still looking for it. I'm refreshing his Twitter page.
Listen, that's what we're going to do. If you can't be next to Twitter, if you can't be at a computer, if you don't have the app on your phone, if you're working, whatever it is, we'll keep our eyes on that. We'll also talk about some of the rumors I'm hearing about this new Indiana Jones movie. The trailer dropped yesterday, and if it is true, what I'm hearing, this is going to be worse than the Crystal Skull. I'll explain coming up in just a little bit. But as we wait for Elon, let's play a game.
Shall we play a game?
What's your name, dude?
Nation of Jake's 4 o'clock name drop.
Drop!
On News Talk 98.9.
Say it!
All right, it's time to play the game. While we wait for Elon Musk to deliver the goods, we got Mark on the line. Mark is our contestant for Name Drop. What's up, Mark?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing well, my man. What you got going on? Are you waiting like the rest of the world for Elon Musk to drop this?
Waiting with Elon. Just anxious to hear about this and see if it's a new chapter in freedom.
Yeah. It's waiting for Elon. Wasn't that a play back in the day? Waiting for Elon, and he never came up. It was Vladimir and Estragon just sitting there like a couple of dopes waiting for Elon.
That's it.
All right, that's what we're doing right now. But in the meantime, we'll just play Name Drop. Mark, you ever play Name Drop before?
I never have, but I've heard it several times.
Of course, you listen every day, and you can't help but hear it. We do it every day about this time here in the Nation of Jake. A very simple game. You know the rules. I've got an audio clip. This is somebody who was in the news. All you have to do is listen to the clip, and at the end of the clip, you identify who's speaking by dropping their name, Mark, and then you will take home a couple of Malco movie passes for your reward. All right? Are you ready, Mark?
I'm ready to win this thing. Let's go.
Let's go.
The serious answer is that I truly do not know the answer to that. Whether or not somebody has my laptop, whether or not I was hacked, whether or not there exists a laptop at all, I truly don't know.
Are you missing a laptop?
Not that I know of, but you read the book and you'll realize that I wasn't keeping tabs on possessions very well for about a 4-year period of time.
All right, Mark. Should be a gimme. You should win today. Drop that name.
It has to be the topic of the hour. That would be Hunter Biden.
Drop!
Very easy. Very easy. Scott says on the text line, that's too easy. But here we are, Mark. You have been the beneficiary of this breaking news. If we were waiting for the Hunter Biden laptop suppression story to drop on Twitter, and we're playing a silly game at this hour, we got to talk about Hunter Biden's laptop, don't we?
Absolutely.
Yes. So, look, do you have any theories? While we wait for Elon to drop the story, and Bud, the producer, is waiting patiently, refreshing his Twitter feed to find it. What do you think happened?
I think the most sanitized version that they're going to be able to release to the public, at least at first, is going to concern some kind of cover-up. I don't think we're going to get deep into the meat and potatoes of it, of what really happened, but we're going to hear about them covering it up and talking back and forth about covering it up and what all he was guilty of.
Well, okay, yeah. I mean, we know that there was suppression. I mean, we know that part of it. It's like, but who's involved here? Is it the Biden campaign? Is it the media?
It's the big man. It's
big
man. It's media. Oh, yeah, it's the big man.
The big guy himself, you think? Maybe he made a call to the CEO of Twitter? I guess we'll find out. Maybe names like Jen Psaki might be involved here. It might go. Yeah, we'll find out. But look, the thing I hate. Go ahead, Mark.
I was just going to say I'm traveling over to Arkansas to see a Styx concert tonight, so I'll have to hear about it on 98.9.
Boom! I love it. You're going to go see Styx. Where are they playing?
Jonesboro.
Oh, cool. Like, wait, at University of Arkansas? That's Fayetteville.
What's the venue? I don't remember the venue.
No, you just jumped in the car to get over to Jonesboro.
My wife booked the ticket. My wife booked the tickets a month ago.
Well, hey, let me know if they play Mr. Roboto. Mr. Roboto was my favorite song when I was a little kid.
You're right back with you, my brother.
Yeah, domo arigato, Mark. You're the winner of some Malco movie passes. I'll let you get to it. You guys drive safe. Enjoy the Styx show in Jonesboro. I had no idea they were still touring. And then jam out to some Mr. Roboto and some Come Sail Away. Is Dennis DeYoung with them still?
I think they tour separately.
Oh, okay. I don't know. All right. Enjoy the program. Enjoy the Styx.
They have agreed to get back together and play when they can play ice hockey on the River Styx.
Is that right? Is that right? When hell freezes over.
We both know that's when freezes over.
Yeah, I think the Eagles already did that way back in the day when I was in high school. All right, Mark, get to it, man. We'll talk to you later. Appreciate it. Congratulations on Name Drop. Yeah, that's right. I mean, hey, the laptop, hell, did I have a laptop? Joe Biden, or Hunter Biden, I should say, he doesn't even know if he had the laptop. I mean, he was trying to snort meth. You know, he was trying to, what was he snorting? He was like sugar off the carpet or something like that. That guy's a 100% fiend. And so, do we have any? Look, it's 5:11 Eastern time, 4:11 Central. Elon Musk is 11 minutes late.
I'm seeing that Judge Judy meme with the where she's pointing at her watch. Like, come on, where is it?
Yeah, this is not cool. Elon Musk should know.
Well, we're waiting.
Oh, this is like he's breaking the cardinal rule of appointment setting. You're supposed to set the appointment. You know, I do it a lot here on the program. I'll tell you, we're going to play Name Drop at the top of the hour number 3 around 4:07, and you always try to hit your marks. You try to deliver to your audience. He said 5 p.m. Eastern, which is 4 p.m. Central, that we were going to have the story released on Twitter. He should have already had it in his drafts. This is maddening. So I'm thinking this is going to. Do we have any clues yet, Bud? Have you seen anything referencing?
He said this will be awesome with the little popcorn emoji. And then there's going to be a Q&A. He said this. He replied to his own tweet and said this will be awesome with the little popcorn emoji. And then he replied to that and said there will be a Q&A. So I don't know if it's like a live feed or something like that. I'm looking in the Explore page. I'm looking on his Twitter. I'm not seeing if this is something he needs to work on. If there's some big announcement, there should be like a tab for it or something like that.
Yeah, I wonder why he would do this at 5 p.m. Eastern on a Friday. This is a news dump thing.
I think you meant Pacific time? We're going to have to wait longer?
He clearly wrote E.T. He wrote
I'm
Eastern
that.
time. But this is news dump stuff. I mean, you know, between everything that's going on over the weekend, you know, you got the Netherlands and the USA and the World Cup. People will be all wrapped up in that. Well, a few people will be, depending on who you ask. You got Tiger Hoops. You know, it's an odd way to do this. This should have been Monday. He should have teased it up for Monday and let people wait through the weekend. That's what you do if you wanted to get people on Twitter. You want to get some of those advertisers engaged, and that's what he should do. And it's like he's going to air out all the secrets, and he's going to do it Monday at noon. So look, that's it. Everybody is right now logged on to Twitter. Is he trying to break some sort of record? Or is he trying? we're sitting here waiting.
Is he collecting data? Are we all just
maybe
rats
he's
in a
doing
maze?
that. Maybe he's trying to win back some advertisers, I think. We'll see. You can't do this, though. You can't tell people you're going to release some sort of information at 5 p.m. Eastern time, and now it's 5:14 Eastern time, and there's still nothing. But he does say it will be awesome, and they say, good things come to those who wait. So I guess we'll have to wait a little bit longer. All right. So we got other stuff to talk about. Hell, we can bring back anything from hours 1 and 2. Tell you what we're going to do. All right. This is the plan. While we wait for Elon Musk to deliver on his tease, we're going to check in with Codename Yogi, see how long it took him to get out of the Shelby County Clerk's office today. Shelby County Clerk's office at Mullen Station, because the new office, she's blown by those deadlines. It's not even a thing yet. So we'll see how long it took him. We'll also maybe bring back what band would you pay to see at Music Fest. We can do that. There's also a bunch of stuff in entertainment. We have the trailer for the 5th Indiana Jones movie. It has a name and somewhat of a plot. There are rumors. And if the rumors are true, this movie's going to be terrible. And I'll tell you why I think so. We'll do all that and whatever the hell else while we wait on Elon. And we'll do it next right here in the Nation of Jake.
Elon. Well, we're waiting.
They're waiting on Elon here. Elon Musk has tweeted he will be releasing the Twitter files on the suppression of the Hunter Biden laptop story. Rewind to October of 2020. The New York Post, which is tabloid, sometimes they'll break news. The Inquirer sometimes will break news. But the New York Post they're kind of aggressive in a lot of their reporting. And so they're not well regarded like the Washington Post or the New York Times, right? Still, though, they nailed down this story of the Hunter Biden laptop in October of 2020, and the story was not allowed on Twitter. It was suppressed. I guess the FBI had told Mark Zuckerberg over at Facebook, be on the lookout for some misinformation, possibly in reference to the Hunter Biden laptop. So Elon Musk, just moments ago, we got the heads up from Ashley on the Rick's Powder Coating text line, and then we saw the tweet. Now, the number one trending topic in the world right now is hashtag Hunter Biden's laptop. That's what is trending number one in the United States. And so they're saying that they're going to drop the files on the NY Post, the New York Post Hunter Biden laptop censored story. He said that they were going to release it at 4 p.m. Central Time. It is now almost 4:20. It's 4:19. Got a minute. Almost 4:20, and we still have nothing. Unless, Bud, have you seen it yet?
Still looking.
All right.
You'll be the first to know.
All right. So, yeah. Hopefully. Will we ever know?
If I find out before you'll be the first to know.
Somebody check on Elon Musk. Now we need to make sure that, Elon Musk is okay. Maybe something happened to him. Tweeting out that you've got what really happened with the Hunter Biden story suppression by Twitter will be published on Twitter at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. He posted that at 2:39 p.m. on December 2nd, 2022. So here we are. We've been waiting. We've been patient. And now we've got nothing. We've got nothing right now. But there's plenty to talk about. We've got the Indiana Jones trailer that dropped. We'll get into that in a little bit. If the rumors are true, it's going to be an awful movie. It's not going to be good. And I'll explain why I say that. All right. And I'm not just being, one of those guys who's like, oh, I love the Indiana Jones from my youth. That's not it at all. It's just, it sounds really stupid what they're going to do. I do know, see, there's changes at Disney World. I'd never been to Disney World before I was an adult. I never went as a child. And so when I went and I rode Splash Mountain, which is, one of the big attractions at Disney World down in Florida. Bud, you've been to Disney World before?
I have not.
You've never been?
I was a Six Flags Great America kid growing up.
Oh, yeah. Six
Chicago.
Flags is like, discount Disney. It's fine. I went to Six Flags way more. Look, I never went to Disney until I had to pay for it. I took my kids to Disney. And at first, they had no idea what Disney World was. My kids were probably 6 and 8 when we went. and they had no idea what Disney World was.
You went when they were old enough to kind of remember the experience, too.
Well, no, it's a good time to go. I mean, right, because I think the tickets have skyrocketed. But when I took our kids, we took our kids to Disney, I had never been. I knew what to expect, though, because, I grew up watching TV. I know what Disney World was. My kids, to that point, they never really watched commercials. They watched things on demand, so they never saw a Disney World commercial. So they didn't know what to expect. But we went, and it was awesome. It was so much fun. We went to the Magic Kingdom the first day, and that's, supposed to be, that's the biggest attraction. It was really crowded, and it was kind of hot. This was October a few years back. And so we got the fast passes for the handful of rides that we could, and we went on Splash Mountain. And to be honest with you, when I got on Splash Mountain, I started seeing all these characters that I didn't recognize, because Splash Mountain was all built around this Song of the South movie, which I had never seen, which apparently was very controversial. I never saw it. I think is that the Zippity Doodah? Yeah. The Zippity Doodah movie?
Brer Rabbit, Brer Bear, and all them.
Yeah, I mean, I knew, of those characters, kinda, but I didn't put it all together, because I never watched Song of the South. It was not like a staple Disney movie.
You couldn't get it. It was, they stopped production. You couldn't get it on VHS or anything like that.
How long ago did they do that?
Ages ago. Back
really?
before the 90s, yeah.
Okay. Well, I was born in 1978. So it's not like, it wasn't a thing, at some point in my childhood. I was never exposed to it. I never sat around and watched it. When I think of all the Disney characters in Disney movies, Song of the South is not but one that comes to mind. So Splash Mountain, they've made the announcement. They're going to change it up. They're going to renovate Splash Mountain to take all the Song of the South references out. So Brer Rabbit and Brer Bear and whoever the hell else, the Zippity Doodah with the birds and stuff, they're not going to be there anymore. Instead, it's going to be Tatiana's Bayou Adventure from Princess and the Frog, which I think is great, because I think The Princess and the Frog is a fantastic animated film from Disney. It's one of my kids loved it. It's got the New Orleans stuff in it. It's got the light bug, the firefly. You've seen Princess and the Frog, right, bud?
I think so.
It's pretty good.
I've seen the Jim Henson version of that.
Right? No. Did he do what, Princess and the Frog?
I don't know if it was called that, but it definitely was
the
that.
Frog Prince. The Frog Prince is different. Yeah. This is like the Disney take on it. Tatiana's doing a restaurant, a Bayou restaurant. She gets turned into a frog, and there's the Shadow Man.
I got an update on Elon. Sorry to interrupt you, Jake.
Oh, yeah, please. Breaking news.
Unfortunately, it's just we're double-checking some facts, so probably start live tweeting in about 40 minutes. So it's a delay.
Oh, boo. That's terrible. That's bad form, Elon. You should have had this ready to go. I'm really disappointed, because in 40 minutes, this program will be over. Oh.
Guess y'all out there are going to have to follow us on Twitter so we can retweet all this stuff.
Yeah. Follow at Nation of Jake on Twitter, and Bud the Producer, or at Bud Motormouth on Twitter. Now I'm upset. Now I'm let down. Because I told you guys I didn't have a whole show prepared today. So I was waiting on breaking news, and I tried to do everything right. Here we were ready, 5 p.m., going to release the Hunter Biden laptop files. And now we have to sit around and wait for some fact-checking.
I'll tell Elon he let us down.
Elon? Come on, man. I was high on Elon up till a minute ago. He's ruined our whole day.
Elon!
Any theories? 683-0989. 683-0989. Was it the heads at Twitter? Was it Parag Agrawal and Vijay what's-her-face? Were they the ones? Was Twitter the ones to head up the suppression, or did Twitter take this to the powers that be with the Biden administration? It wasn't the administration, it was the Biden campaign at that point. Was it the FBI, some sort of federal law enforcement? Who was it? Who made the call? Who ordered the code red on the Hunter Biden story? If you know, or if you think you know, 683-0989, 683-0989, because all we can do is speculate at this point, at least for the next 35 or 40 minutes. However long it takes Elon to get his facts checked.
Elon!
I think maybe a little bit of everything. I think that the Biden campaign circled the wagons. They made some calls, maybe Democrat leadership. Maybe they got the heads up from Twitter saying, hey, we're seeing this from the New York Post. What do we do? And, of course, it was very easy at the time for the folks at Twitter to just say, we're going to throttle this. We're going to make sure nobody sees it, and we're going to suspend the New York Post Twitter account. That's what we'll do. So we'll get the whole story at some point. Unfortunately, doesn't look like it'll happen during this program, but maybe we'll get some leaks. Yeah? Coming up, anything you want to talk about on the Rick's Powder Coating text line, it is wide open at 683-0989. That's 683-0989. I'm going to tell you why the Indiana Jones movie might be worse than the last one.
Yes, have some.
All right, so Elon Musk has decided to totally screw up the show today.
Elon!
I can't be too mad. I had no idea he was going to announce anything. So I couldn't have known this. I couldn't have planned my whole show around this. But about, what was it? 10 till 4, we got the message that he was 10 minutes from then at 4 p.m. Central going to release the Twitter files, the story on the Hunter Biden laptop being suppressed, the story from the New York Post. Who made the decision to suppress the story? Who ordered the code red on PFC William Santiago? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth. We're still waiting on it. We'll find out what he said, but half an hour from now, it'll be released on Twitter. So if you don't have a Twitter account, maybe now's a good time to make one. Or can you cruise Twitter without having an account? I think you can see tweets. I send them to my dad all the time, and he's nowhere near Twitter. I mean, all he gets on Twitter is my videos that I send him. So I guess a lot of people are signing up for Twitter right now. Maybe they're signing up for Twitter Blue. Maybe that's what this is. It seems like an odd time to do it. I have Friday news dump time, but we will be waiting, and maybe there'll be some leaks.
You got some folks here saying he's just trying to get a free stress test for the Twitter servers.
Maybe he is. Maybe he's very clever. And he's very, very clever. So maybe we'll find out before long what in the holy hell's going down. Now, there have been leaks about Indiana Jones. You know, I joked, about a week ago, about Harrison Ford being so old.
He's too old.
He's 80 years old. And so, before we knew that this was called Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, we had a lot of different names for it. Indiana Jones and the Search for Centrum Silver, and Indiana Jones and the Secret of the Medicare Advantage Plan, and Indiana Jones and the fifth time he's woken up to pee. There were all these different, because he's so old.
He's too old.
It's hard to envision 80-year-old Indiana Jones out there with his bullwhip and with his fedora rolling under closing doors and swinging across pits full of old bones and reaching his hand into a pit of scorpions or being lowered into a vat of hot lava after having seen Mola Ram rip the still beating heart out of a human sacrifice while saying Kalima, Kalima, Shakti Day. All right, those, I just conflated pretty much all of the indie movies. But it's a really simple formula. All you have to have is some sort of ancient relic. You have to explain good and evil. And then you have to have Indiana Jones fighting Nazis. That's all you have to have. So it's a simple formula, but they got away from that in the Crystal Skull. The Crystal Skull movie, they had CGI monkey swingings, and they had aliens. It was stupid. Crystal Skull, I think most people would agree, does not exist when it comes down to the Indiana Jones trilogy, because that would make a quadrilogy. And that's not a thing. So for me, it's very simple. The best film of the three that I recognize is The Last Crusade. Sean Connery as Henry Jones Sr., brilliant. The very fact that they were able to make that third installment so good and so rewatchable. That's really, Last Crusade is my favorite. Raiders comes in second. And people like to crap on the Temple of Doom. Temple of Doom is my least favorite of the three, but is still a banger. That movie is so much fun. And so what they essentially have done is they've ruined Indiana Jones with that fourth installment, and now it seems like they're back at it. I guess they want to go all the way in. They're kind of like being like Kanye West. Kanye West has all this anti-Semitic stuff. And so he figures there's no turning back now. I need to go all the way with this. I need to get so outlandish and say such ridiculous stuff that there's only one way to go, and that is through it.
I love Jewish people, but I also love Nazis.
Well, so Indiana Jones did not love Nazis. He liked to punch Nazis. Now, all the speculation can be pretty much put to rest because they released the official trailer for Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
I miss the desert.
Salah!
I miss the sea. And I miss waking up every morning, wondering what wonderful adventure the new day will bring to us.
All right, so we're seeing old Indy here as a professor.
Days have come and gone. Perhaps not.
Next summer.
I don't believe in magic. But a few times in my life, I've seen things I can't explain. And I've come to believe it's not so much what you believe. It's how hard you believe it.
All right, so from then we see a lot of action and adventure, and it appears that we are going back and forth between old Harrison Ford and young Harrison Ford as he is de-aged. We knew that part. There's a female character in here, played by Phoebe Waller-Bridge. And so, bear with me here. Some of the rumors that I've read and what I gleaned from this trailer is that the Dial of Destiny is some sort of time machine or a portal through time, which I guess it makes sense they would go that direction after going with Aliens. I mean, in Raiders, you went with the Ark of the Covenant. In Temple of Doom, you went with the Shakara Stones, right? And then the Last Crusade, Holy Grail. So, yeah, then you move into the alien stuff and the Crystal Skull, and now you got time travel. So this is like Indiana Jones Quantum Mania we're getting into. Now, if that wasn't kind of goofy enough, but have you seen the same leaks I have? You tend to get into the same kind of stuff.
Yes, I've seen some of them, yeah. The multiple endings and whatnot.
Yeah, and look, maybe this is all red herring kind of stuff, but what I've read is that they are somehow going to use the time travel angle to replace Indiana Jones with this female Phoebe Waller-Bridge character, and that all the adventures that we know throughout history, or in fake history in Indiana Jones, he's replaced by a female Indiana Jones. So then they can keep making the Indiana Jones films with the different actor with a female lead, but it still be the same character.
And that's right on brand for Kathleen Kennedy. She's the one responsible for The Force Awakens as the producer running. She's the president of Lucasfilm now. So
right. She was employed by Disney to head up Lucasfilm, and she's essentially the person who ruined Star Wars for a lot of people. I mean, just totally crapped on Star Wars because what Rise of Skywalker was pretty bad. I think, and here's the thing: you're not going to realize how bad it is until later, because like with the Star Wars sequel trilogy, I was really excited for The Force Awakens, and I watched The Force Awakens and I loved it because it had the aesthetic. It felt like a Star Wars movie. But then I realized after the fact, number one, it was just a rehashing of A New Hope.
It's when you apply some critical thinking to it.
Well, no, when you watch it again.
Yeah.
That's it. When you watch it again and you realize how unrewatchable it is. Because the magic of a movie like Star Wars is that you can watch it over and over again and pick up new things. And then, you always enjoy when it comes on. With The Force Awakens, I did not. The second time I watched it, I was bored to tears. I didn't even try to watch the other two again because they were just movies. They were just reduced to just movies, right? So this whole idea, and if you want to get into the kind of political angle of this, there have been people who have said that the Indiana Jones movies is reek of toxic masculinity, and Indiana Jones is a grave robber and a colonizer, and he goes and steals relics and puts them in museums in the Western world, and he's a bad guy, and that he should somehow be canceled. I hope that they don't do that in the movie. I hope that they don't somehow address all this stuff and say that a female of the time where Indiana Jones, I don't know, does he know this woman from the 60s when he's an old man, and together they go back and she educates him on why what he's doing is wrong. That would be so bad.
She's going to scold him.
Oh my God, being a woke scold in a time travel movie, and then replace him, that he'll somehow sacrifice himself and be erased from history, and that a female will take up the mantle of Indiana Jones and don the fedora and the bullwhip. And oh man, this is going to be awful. That would be honestly, I don't even know if I want to see it. If that's the case, man, I don't want to watch movies where I'm being told, that I'm a bad person for enjoying the movie that I went to go see. What, Bud, can you think of who would want to see this? Who?
No. People who don't know any better. People who aren't analyzing it and they just see new Indiana Jones movie. They don't do any investigating or read anything leading into it. They just go see it.
But here's the thing, man. Like, you talk about Gen Z and like the target market, the 18 to 34s now. Do they like Indiana Jones? Is Indiana Jones a big brand for them? You got to think about who is a movie for. Indiana Jones movies, the concept, the character, the aesthetic is for people who grew up on Indiana Jones movies. It's Gen X and earlier. It's boomers and Gen X. Mostly Gen X, kids of the 80s that came up loving Indiana Jones. And so now, what are you doing? And again, this could all be red herring kind of stuff. The rumors could be false. It's just all speculation. Well, these are films that remind me of my childhood. Who didn't want to be Indiana Jones? There's a great story. Some kids. Did you ever see the thing where the kids recreated Raiders of the Lost Ark on VHS with a home video camera? And they couldn't finish it because they didn't know how to shoot the airplane scene when the airplane blew up. And so it wasn't until years later somebody got a hold of the VHS and they put it on at some film festival and like in between movies. And so they were just kind of like filling time in between the feature films at this film festival. And so all these people started watching this home video of kids recreating Raiders of the Lost Ark, and they got into it. So much so that the grown men who, abandoned the project because they couldn't finish it, they finished it. There's a whole documentary on this, and it's awesome. But that's how much Indiana Jones meant to kids in the 80s. And now to even think that they would somehow take this movie and then woke scold people who enjoyed Indiana Jones and all the toxic masculinity that it came with. Indiana Jones was bedding dames and he was, shooting people. And it was awesome. And there's, I don't know, that maybe it'll be worth
was
watching.
Killing Nazis. Who doesn't love that?
Yeah,
Besides
man.
Kanye. Kanye probably wouldn't.
Well,
like that.
yeah, but Kanye, what would be funny is if, and I've thought about this earlier, somebody needs to take the scene from The Last Crusade where Indiana Jones is dressed up as a Nazi because he goes to get the Grail diary back from Berlin and they're having a big book burning. You know the scene I'm talking about. And so he gets caught up in this crowd of people and the Fuhrer is there and he comes face to face with Adolf Hitler, and Adolf Hitler takes his Grail diary and he autographs it. You know the scene. It'd be funny if somebody took Kanye West's head and superimposed it on Indiana Jones and then like had like a reaction like he wanted Adolf Hitler's autograph, and the reaction would be he smiles. That would be, if I had time and I had if I could do it quickly, I would do it. But things like that, they can't be half-assed, and that's all I care enough about is to do it half-assed. So I think some audio video nerd needs to do that. I think that'd be funny. That could go viral. You could do well with it. I don't know how much money you'd make. Probably none. All right. But you'd get some online clout. All right. As we wait for Elon Musk to give us anything, we will just see what else is trending. We will see what else is breaking news. And then we will get to your text on the Rick's Powder Coating text line. If you've got any kind of, feedback on the Indiana Jones trailer, if you got any, are you going to see this movie? We can talk about that. Or any predictions of how this is going to go down on Twitter, the Twitter files of how the Hunter Biden laptop got suppressed. We can talk about that as well. We got plenty of text on the text line, and we'll get to your thoughts and wrap things up next right here in the Nation of Jake. All right, I think we've got something here.
Yes, have some.
Welcome back to the Nation of Jake, NewsTalk 98.9, the roar of Memphis. The world is waiting. The number one trending topic in the United States on Twitter is hashtag Hunter Biden's laptop. Now we got a link. There's a link that says breaking. Elon Musk has released the Hunter Biden documents. I'm going to click this link in real time. Are you ready for this? Oh, no. Greg Price has just rickrolled me. Thank you, Greg. Appreciate that. What a time. What a time to be alive. Everybody is waiting patiently for Elon Musk. Not so patiently, apparently, because I've been just kind of griping about it for the better part of an hour. At 4 o'clock, he was supposed to release the Hunter Biden suppression documents. What happened? Who made the call to suppress the Hunter Biden laptop story? And that was 51 minutes ago. We were supposed to get it, and now we got to wait still. This show will be over. Everybody will be getting along their weekend, but the world will be waiting. And then we just got rickrolled. Have you ever been rickrolled on the air? That's embarrassing. All right, 683-0989, 683-0989. If you got any thoughts on who could be responsible, who was the one who said, shut that down, shut it down, Jack Donaghy style. Who shut it down? Was it the FBI? Was it the Secret Service? Was it the Biden campaign? Did Twitter just take it upon themselves? A highly partisan executive team at Twitter said, oh, this looks bad. A bad October surprise for the Biden campaign. We cannot have Donald Trump win re-election. Look.
Maybe the message came from Hunter Biden. He messaged the staff at Twitter and said, hey, could you guys not release that stuff? My dad will be, or the big guy will be mad. Yeah, maybe it could be, as Joshua says on the text line, it could be Indiana Jones and the suppression of Hunter Biden's laptop. Now, since they're doing time travel, in the Indiana Jones, I guess, anthology now. What is it, 5 movies? And this will be the 5th one. They just, man, look, I watched this trailer, and I watch it because they burned us so badly with the Crystal Skull. I watch it thinking, okay, it looks great. It looks like an action-packed Indiana Jones film, but I'm reading all these rumors that they're going to somehow use time travel to erase Henry Jones Jr. from his role as Indiana Jones and replace him with his goddaughter. I don't like that at all. Maybe it'll be so bad we'll finally get to see Kathleen Kennedy get fired.
Maybe.
That would be a silver lining on that.
I don't know who this movie is for. What are the people saying? What are the folks saying on the Rick's Powder Coating text line at 683-0989? Bud?
I like this anonymous texter here says, this is Nathaniel, sorry, likes movies till he's being preached to.
Yeah, I'm with you, Nathaniel. Look, I think, one of the biggest movies really of all time, a movie that's been in the theater for 6 months plus is Top Gun Maverick. Not once while watching Top Gun Maverick was anybody made to feel bad about who they were or anything. It was just a solid action movie. It was great.
Speaking of Top Gun Maverick, back in theaters today until the 15th, if I'm not mistaken.
If you hadn't seen that in theaters, you need to go. You need to go see it. Look, there wasn't a lot to the movie. It wasn't like some deep thinker's movie. No social message was being sent, but it was a fun movie. And if you look at that movie, everybody, huge numbers. And if the goal is to get people to go back to the theaters and watch movies, make movies like that. Don't get, like Nathaniel says. I mean, once it's like they're preaching to you, it's like, that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to escape. But
and when they think you're stupid, like you're not going to notice you're being preached to. It takes you out of the movie so fast, especially when it's something like sci-fi or historical, and they're saying stuff that is definitely referential to today.
Yeah. Like when they put Stacey Abrams in a Star Trek series, like, bye, see you later. So, I'm not excited about it for that reason. And it sucks, man, because I love Indiana Jones. I show my kids those movies. I mean, man, kids are so smart. My younger daughter, Olivia, we watched the Indiana Jones movies, and then there were some pretty intense parts of those movies. You got to watch them with your kids, your heads melting and hearts being ripped out of chests and stuff like that. But they can take it. Not doing that. Don't melt your kids' heads, but you let them watch it. If you're there, PG means PG, parental guidance. So, but then we watched that fourth one, and she didn't like it. She's like, there's too much fakeness in it. Too much fakeness. And what she was trying to express was too much CGI. It wasn't an organic feeling movie. A lot of it was forced. And this one, I got time travel. Oh, no. I keep that with my Robert Zemeckis Back to the Future and Bill and Ted movies. I mean, who else is on here? On the text line,
Walden says Indiana Jones is about to be ruined, which is a sentiment I think we all are kind of sharing here.
Yeah. I can't disagree with that. And that's, I guess, look, when they say stuff like, I'm not going to sit there and rag on stuff that is not for me, but Indiana Jones is for me.
It's worse when it used to be, and now it feels like it isn't anymore.
Right. Exactly, bud.
Like what's happening with Star Wars.
Yeah. All right. We will hang out for a little while and see what's happening with Elon. So if you want to text some more, I'll hang out a little while, but the show's over. I'll be on the Twitter @NationofJake, and so will you be, waiting for Elon.